Next, we have Mr. Kapil Narula, PhD, Economics Affairs Officer, United Nations, Lebanon. Mr. Kapil Narula is currently employed as Economic Affairs Officer at UNESCWA, Beirut. His career goal is to provide a leadership role to the world onto a path of sustainable development. Kapil holds a PhD in Development Studies focused on energy, economics, sustainability and policy, and a master's degree in electric engineering. He has over 18 years of work experience in the industry as a policymaker, researcher, and in academics. He works on technical, environmental, and social aspects of energy transition, and sustainability. His past work includes heat decarbonization, energy access, energy security, energy policy, and energy modeling, amongst others. Over to you, Mr. Narula.
Thank you, Ms. Ananya, for that long read. I'm sure there are many more illustrious people around here. But I'm indeed privileged to be invited as a guest of honor to the Global Sustainability Awards 2022. These awards play an extremely important role in encouraging and motivating individuals and businesses to embrace best sustainability practices. They also encourage people to develop new technologies and to shape new pathways in multiple fields, and provides recognition to them as role models and as leaders in sustainability. Sustainability has become the buzzword for today, and it refers to the ability to maintain or preserve something over a long time frame. In the context of environmental and social issues, sustainability is often used to describe efforts to preserve natural resources and ecosystems, as well as to address social and economic inequalities. The core idea of sustainability is to find ways to meet the needs of the people and the planet without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. However, I will emphasize on the term needs and distinguish it from wants, because as Mahatma Gandhi said, the world has enough for everyone's need, but not for everyone's greed. Sustainability is also a key concept in businesses, as it is now recognized that the triple bottom line, that is, profit, people, and the planet, is essential for continued growth, and companies should commit to focusing as much on social and environmental concerns as they do on profits. Hence, we are rightly seeing an increased commitment to corporate social responsibility, and companies are carefully analyzing the impact of their actions on environment. But let's examine what has led to the emergence of the concept of sustainability. As you all know, one of the key factors is the growing awareness of the negative impacts that human activity can have on the natural world, including issues such as climate change, loss of biodiversity, and pollution. As people have become more aware of these issues, there has been a growing recognition to find ways to live and work that are more environmentally responsible and that preserve the health and integrity of natural systems. Another factor that has contributed to the emergence of sustainability is the increasing recognition of the interconnectedness of social, economic, and environmental issues. Many of us can now understand that the choices we make in one domain can have significant impacts on other areas, and it is therefore important to consider a system of systems approach and consider the long-term implications of our actions. Finally, the emergence of sustainability as a concept has also been driven by a desire to find ways to address pressing global challenges, including poverty, inequality, and resource depletion, in a more holistic and integrated way, leading to the adoption of sustainable development goals by all countries of the world. I also want to take this opportunity to highlight three emerging trends in sustainability which, in my opinion, may shape the next few years. The first of this is the global clean energy transition and efforts towards protecting ecosystems. The global clean energy transition is the defining trend of the 21st century. The scale, speed, and complexity of this transition is unmatched in the history of the world. The journey from about 40 gigatons of carbon dioxide emissions annually to net zero GHG emissions by the second half of the century is extremely challenging and hence presents a range of opportunities for businesses. Technology will be the main driver, and policy will play an important role in enabling this transition. Some of the key takeaways from 2022 include re-emergence of energy security as a concern and an increase in the global energy bill, which is estimated at about $10 trillion. This bill stands at about 10% of the global GDP as against an average of 4% in earlier years. Some positive news is the outcome of COP15, known as the Kunming-Montreal Pact, which includes 23 targets aimed at halting the biodiversity crisis, including a pledge to protect 30% of land and oceans by 2030, an agreement to reform $500 billion of subsidies that are harmful to nature, and to increase biodiversity financing to developing countries. From UNFCCC-led COP27 at Egypt, the highlight was the establishment of a dedicated fund for loss and damage. The good news which emerged from Brazil was the re-election of President Lula Silva, who has committed to zero deforestation by 2030. The second trend is the emerging sustainability finance and its mainstreaming. According to Bloomberg, the net zero GHG transition scenario comes with an estimated price tag of $200 trillion US. To put it in context, the current global GDP is about $100 trillion. Climate tech investing will therefore see increasing investment inflows and emerge as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for businesses, entrepreneurs, and investors. The recently passed Inflation Reduction Act in the US, growing global momentum for action on climate change, including in India, and increasing integration of the risk of climate change into investment decisions by central banks and companies is creating the right conditions for sustainable finance and is a long bull run across the climate tech landscape. Third trend is the voluntary action by non-state actors. While ambitious announcements from governments and intergovernmental organizations push for increased commitments on climate change and sustainability are laudable, voluntary actions by non-state actors will set the pace for on-ground action in the next few years. Voluntary commitments and partnerships for sustainable development and multi-stakeholder initiatives undertaken by cities, companies, and multinational corporations are now an important part of the implementation of the agreed SDGs and are driving action on climate mitigation. Some of these successes can be seen in the rise of voluntary carbon markets and net zero commitments by companies such as Google, which has pledged to operate on carbon-free energy in all its operations 24/7 by 2030. However, it is also important to guard against greenwashing and to increase the transparency of actions of businesses and companies by increasing disclosures. At the end, I would like to congratulate the organizers of these awards, Global Council for Promotion of International Trade, for mainstreaming sustainability and recognizing the efforts of individuals and organizations for promoting sustainability. The commitment of GCPIT and its functionaries, including its energetic founder and global chairperson, Mr. Santosh Ganesh, is indeed infectious and worthy of emulation. My heartiest congratulations to all winners for leading the way as role models and showing to the world that it is possible to be sustainable and profitable at the same time. Thank you all for your patient listening and have a great evening.
Thank you, Mr. Narula. Next week,